my body. Every size, every line, every girl, every guy, everybody who don't identify.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello, my name is Loey. I am so excited to have stumbled across another TikTok find just in time for spooky season. Also, do you guys like my slightly festive background? All I did was add in a vampire Teddy. He's from Nightmare Before Christmas, and two of the little spooky friends that I grabbed at the Pokemon Center, although Umbreon is just Umbreon, he can't help it. I am traveling all month for October. I traveled all month of September, and I'm going to travel pretty much all month of November. So I haven't really had any time to decorate for Halloween. So hopefully you guys like a little bit of that Halloween flair, but we are not here to discuss my overspending habits when it comes to collecting plushies. We are here to talk about a TikTok account, specifically one called BadMoodRude. I might have an addiction to soft plushie friends, but the difference between my toys and hers are that mine are not haunted. Hers are possessed by the spirits of children, people. When I stumbled across her TikToks, I was so fascinated. I reached out to her and she gave me a lot of additional information on her dolls, as well as some videos that I'm so stoked to be able to share here with you guys. If you guys want to keep up with her stories, I highly recommend that you follow her TikTok. She also has a YouTube channel where she said she is going to start posting a lot more in-depth videos on her dolls. So I will have both linked down below, and I'm so excited to tell you a little bit about the story of her and the story of her dolls. So I took the time to scroll through the library of @BadMoodRude's TikToks, and here is the first one I could ever find where she mentioned one of her haunted dolls.
Hey TikTok, so I'm just gonna tell you guys about one of my haunted dolls. Her name is Abby. She was found in an attic a few years ago, not by me, by someone else, and then I gave her a permanent home. Some facts about Abby when she was alive: she's from Arkansas. She had a traumatic death in 2009 at age 39. She won't talk about it. I love Abby. If anyone upsets me, she will turn the TV off. She messes with electricity. She'll turn video games off in different rooms if I'm not happy. Abby likes to communicate by knocking on walls. She likes watching birds, so I'll put her to watch birds, and she likes flowers. So that's Abby. I love Abby. She's very positive. She's a happy spirit. She was a good mom when she was alive. And if you want to know about any more dolls, just let me know.
Throughout these TikToks, she gives us introductions to her dolls, showcases her collections, and pretty much gives just a bit of background information, what information she does have for each of them. And you learn pretty quickly just by going through her videos that this is something that she's very passionate about. She's very passionate about these dolls, about their stories.
I've been getting a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to answer some really quick. Here's my girls. Let's go. Just a disclaimer. TikTok does not give me enough time to talk about my dolls or give insights, like how I communicate with them, everything that they've done, explain their backstories. So I would highly recommend looking me up on YouTube, BadMoodRude. Once I get to 1,000 followers, I will start making in-depth videos about my girls to explain more about them. My dogs are not afraid of them. They actually like them a lot. If my dogs ever were afraid of a spirit, I would definitely get rid of it. My girls are not evil. There are evil ones and there are negative ones. Just because a spirit is negative doesn't mean it's evil. My girls are all positive. They're very sweet. I've had no issues sleeping. The spirits actually all stay out of our bedroom. Abby's gone in there once, and it was only one time. And yes, they do startle me sometimes because you never know when they're gonna fling objects or turn the TV off, and it startles me.
I kind of asked a few things, but my main question was how she got into the hobby of collecting haunted dolls, and specifically any stories she wanted to share with me to kind of introduce you to her girls. She's obviously very fond of them. They each have their own personalities. From what I have personally experienced and from what I know of haunted dolls, they're basically like children. They have needs or wants just like you or me, and it definitely seems like there is a very intense family dynamic here. So I'm going to read you what she said to me. So she said, "I got into actually getting the haunted dolls after my grandma passed away. I was always interested and had been experiencing paranormal stuff my whole life anyways. I felt like being able to communicate with a spirit that was here would make me feel better, and it definitely has. Besides having to rehome Gina, and I did mention that, the only doll that she had mentioned rehoming was her doll Gina. This is because Gina did not get along with her doll Abby. However, in a follow-up video, she actually introduces us to Gina, so I will let you see that right now.
So this is Gina. I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about her. Gina died in 2001 at age 34. She's from New York. She was an unsuccessful author while she was alive, and because of that, she can be very judgmental towards other people just because she kind of feels bad about herself when she was alive. And she'll say nasty things to you sometimes. She doesn't mean it in a bad way. She thinks she's just being honest. She is the one that loves country music, and whether you listen to Kenny Chesney or not, she will keep adding him to your playlist over and over and over again. Gina hates the Ouija board. She will not use it to communicate because she thinks it's evil. She likes to turn the TV on and off. She'll do it 3 times in a row. And that's Gina. She's the one that lives with my aunt now. I like Gina. I think she's entertaining. So...
But yeah, other than Gina, she's only ever had to rehome her first doll. Her name was Primrose. I found her birth certificate, by the way. That's really interesting, and I'll explain more at the end. I couldn't believe it. And that's because she likes to be the only spirit in the home, and I have 8 now. When I had Primrose here, I had 10, and she was not happy to be one of 10.
This is Primrose. She's another spirit that I had to rehome because she got mad at me. She got mad at me because she likes to be the only or one of very few spirits in a home, and as you guys know, I have a lot. So she actually also lives with my aunt with Gina. Primrose was actually conjured to be in this doll, and she brings a lot of luck and money to you. She's nice. She doesn't do much. She was really active once. She took her shoe off, and it was terrifying, and I screamed. So there's Primrose. I am mostly drawn to children/women spirits, and my other ones all get along really, really well and enjoy the company of the other girls. Besides Primrose not wanting to live here anymore, I've never had a doll that I brought home and then kept that I thought was negative. I found one darker spirit at a Goodwill before, and I needed to bring it home. I don't know how to explain it, but I knew he/she was not okay. So I brought it home, contained it, and then mailed it to one of the women that I know that specializes in them for her to take care of, to rehome or free the spirit, or just do whatever she felt it needed done. I keep notes on stuff each time my girls do something, which seems to be a lot. I'm telling you, if you guys watch her entire library of TikToks, the orbs that she catches, the activity, the way that her dogs interact with these dolls, it's crazy. In fact, I told her that one of my favorite videos was the video of one of her dogs licking the hands of Taylor Ann. I thought it was so sweet. And she goes on to tell me, my most active spirit is Taylor Ann. She didn't want to live in a home unless there were other children's spirits or dogs. We have both. A few months ago, we had a sick puppy at our house, and it was in the spare bedroom. I had just gotten done taking care of the puppy, and I came out and into the living room and told Taylor Ann if she ever wanted to go and visit or help the little puppy, she was more than welcome. 5 minutes after that, my husband and I both saw and heard the apparition of a little girl run down the living room hallway and into the spare bedroom. We could not believe it. My dogs always get super excited, like a person is saying hi to them with her, like with the squealing and excitement of when they see a normal person. Taylor Ann will also be the most aggressive spirit. She has thrown a painting across the room at someone and a skull that I own at someone else. They both deserved it because the painting happened after someone snatched her necklace off her neck to look at it. I just heard a dog bark. I have never heard a dog bark from outside of my apartment. I hear them sometimes when I'm like out in the hallway, or I'll hear them from other places, but like this is just like straight into nothing. That was really weird. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but that was so weird. Taylor Ann grew up a homeless orphan, so she never had much, and she enjoys her necklaces and likes collecting rocks. And my dogs immediately ran up to the person, my aunt, and started growling at her ferociously, which is super not our dog's personality, and they love my aunt. So she was startled and dropped the necklace, and it was like a switch went off in my dogs and they just walked away. My aunt got in the shower and the painting flew off the wall across the room to the shower. We literally could not believe it. So then she slept in the spare room that night, and there is absolutely nothing in the spare room, just a bed and blankets. And then my aunt woke up in the middle of the night
to an amethyst I've never seen and a bag I've never seen appearing in the middle of the spare bedroom floor. So my aunt begged Taylor Ann to forgive her and gave her the amethyst that appeared, and she said it was like a weight lifted. The other time, our friend came over, and he doesn't necessarily believe in haunted dolls, but he hates dolls either way. Whenever people come to my house, I introduce them to the girls because this is their home too. I told him he had to be nice and not think mean things, and I bring him into the room I had them in that day. He instantly gives them all dirty looks, and then my biggest skull flew off the shelf at him. He then immediately left, as he should. But I also totally get that when you're coming into someone else's space. I think it's the same experiences I've had while, ghost hunting, where if you come in and you're being disrespectful and you're touching people's things without asking, or you're doing things without permission, it cannot always have the nicest consequences. So totally understandable. And to be fair, I don't think you or I would very much so like people touching our things and walking into our house unannounced. But anyways, she goes on to say, I've since checked and there is absolutely no way it could have fallen. I've shaken the shelving and jumped up and down as much as I could, and I've shaken the skull. It's completely put and stable. Then, one time, I had all the girls in the living room except for Lane, and she was in another spare bedroom we have. My cousin was here and he went into the room, not knowing Lane was in there, to FaceTime someone, and when he got on the call, the light switch flicked off. So he turned and saw Lane sitting in the corner, and he was like, nope, and he said sorry to her and left. I could go on and on, really. I just love the girls, and I know they love living here, and my dogs, and you can tell my dogs love them too. And I like how active they can be because it's things you can't make up, which I totally understand. Especially with the dogs, if the dog is seeing it and reacting to it, you know it's there. And things that other people have experienced too. I had asked her where to send you guys for more information and just to check her workout, and she reiterates here that on her TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, she's going to start doing these in-depth videos on her experiences with the dolls and various things that happen. So you guys have to keep up with her social media to continue to see this story unfold. She went on to tell me about the story of her finding her doll Primrose's birth certificate. She actually spoke to Primrose using a Ouija board, and Primrose said her birthday was 1/26/1889, which made her assume that it was January 26th, 1889. So, get this, she plugs in other information she has about Primrose into Ancestry.com and realizes that there was a woman named Primrose who was born in 1889 and died in 1960. Except her birthday was 12/6/1889, not 1/26/1889. So literally, she had just confused the digits. And it's the only name with a record of a birth date, like on that day. Is that not like wild? So that's how she got a copy of Primrose's birth certificate, and it did say that Primrose was 71 when she passed away. She goes on to say, they're just so comforting, honestly. I love them. Yes, they can spook you because you never know when or if they'll do things, so it'll startle you when they do, but you know it's just them. I know that throwing things sounds scary to people, but if you were a child spirit and had no one to communicate with when someone was being mean to you, you throw things too. She said, I'm so sorry. I know that was a lot. I could literally talk about them forever. There was just so much. And no, this is so cool. And it's so cool to hear all of this straight, like firsthand from somebody who has so many of these dolls and so many experiences. Now, in her TikTok with Gina, she actually showed these images, but she goes on to reiterate that when her aunt got her doll, Gina, her security camera, which only catches movement, started catching orbs on camera in the middle of the night. And within the 2 years that her aunt had that security camera, it had never picked up orbs before. It only happens when there's movement, and it had never happened until she accumulated Gina. Another story about Taylor Ann here is that her dogs were at her mother and father-in-law's house, and her aunt had an untrained puppy who literally just kept jumping on the bed that Taylor Ann was on and staring at her. Like, this dog would just jump on the bed and stare at her. Why on earth would a 4-month-old puppy jump on a bed and stare at a doll over 40 times in a few-hour period? It's because Taylor Ann is always calling dogs and they run to her, which would make so much sense. It's like the dog comes to her and he's like, what? Like, you called me. And then she doesn't move, doesn't say anything, and he's like, all right, goes back to what he's doing, and then he hears her again. She says that this was something she caught on camera, but she's new to security cameras, and so she did not have the footage from it, but she did, however, have a ton of other footage for us. So in these videos, we see flashes of various orbs, and actually in the final video, this was the most fascinating one to me, because out of nowhere, the camera just starts like shaking. You can see on her screen recording that you can see a notification of motion detected on the security camera. But then if you look off to the side, off to the right specifically, you will be able to see a small shadow suddenly appear out of nowhere and then just walk off camera, like the right height for basically what would look like a kid. So when I brought that up to her, she said, oh my God, didn't even notice the shadow. I just saw it get blurry and shaky. We have a shadow man in our house, so that was probably him then. We don't really like him, and that's a whole other story. So you guys, what do you think of this TikTok account? I think that it is crazy the amount of activity and evidence that she has to show for these experiences with her haunted dolls, and honestly, she just seems like such like a warm, like lovely person, and when she talks about her dolls, you can tell the amount of love and care that's put into them. And I think that that's why I wanted to tell this story so badly, because the other things that I've talked about on TikTok have the feeling of being an ARG or an alternate reality game, and this just feels so nice. I don't know. Maybe some of you will be totally freaked out by this and be like, Lo, what is nice about a haunted doll? But it just has like such a nice feeling, and I love this story and I love these dolls, and yeah, I'm so excited I got to tell you guys all about them. If you guys want to check out any of Bad Mood Rude's other work, make sure you check out her YouTube, Instagram, and her TikTok, of course. She also makes really good music, so you guys can check out her Spotify as well. But yeah, let me know what you all think of this one down below, and thank you so much for watching. I love you guys very, very much. Before I go, I know not all of you will have stuck around this long, but I do want to say that during the month of October, I have not really announced it anywhere. I am trying to upload like every other day. I've missed a little bit of time, at least at the beginning of the month, and that's why I haven't announced it. October is always just a really hard month for me. October 1st is my dad's death date, and he passed away officially 3 years ago as of this month, which is crazy. Doesn't even feel real. His birthday is also October 20th, so it's just kind of a hard month for me. And every single time I try to limit what I promise and what I like say I'm gonna do in work and in my personal life, because it's like I never know how I'm gonna feel. I never know if I'll be up or down or somewhere in between. And I definitely found that after the down period, I landed kind of somewhere in between. And I definitely want to put out more content for October, so that was weird. Did you guys hear that? I thought it might have been above me, but it sounded like it's tapping. Oh, that was interesting. Random side note, and I think I'm just rambling because this is the first video in a long time where I've just like talked to you guys, and I don't know why I'm doing it at the end of this random TikTok video. I dreamed about my dad for the first time in a long time the other night, actually last night, and it was weird, and he told me some things, and I woke up and had more energy and more zest to get crap done, and more of an emphasis that life is going to keep moving whether I'm having fun with it or not. And this was after like kind of a really bad spell in terms of my mental health and like just crap that was going on around me. So I feel like I'm in a decent place, and I definitely want to put out more content. So I wanted to let you guys know you can't expect that from me. If I miss anything, maybe. That's why I haven't made like a formal, like, here's what I'm doing this month. I hope that by November I can do Lowvember once again and upload every day of November. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to upload like every other day, you know, seeing where we get with it. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.